Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're wondering what's up with the superhero sheets because it doesn't necessarily match the vibe of this channel, this is my son's sleeping space, and that's where I just was able to film today, so just ignore, the superhero sheets, but it is what it is. I wanted to first off thank everybody who's coming back to my channel, subscribing, hitting the like button, leaving your comments down below. These mean so much to me, and it definitely helps get the message out there of what my channel promotes, which isn't necessarily a very popular topic on the internet, but in case you are new here, we do talk about femininity, all things being a traditional woman, such as homemaking and motherhood. There's a heavy emphasis on masculinity and femininity in this space, and that leads me to today's topic, which is the commodification of the masculine-feminine relationship in popular media as we see it today. This video is a part of my reaction series, a trad wife, a real traditional wife reacts to, basically things that I see online, particularly TikTok, Reels, short form media, or like sensationalized articles about being a traditional woman. And this is a little bit of a tangent topic, but it's something that has been really bothering me, and so I thought that we would touch on it today. This video also came in inspiration from a video that I saw on my YouTube homepage from somebody that I don't follow at all, but I thought it was a good depiction of the commodification of relationships in terms of what she was saying, which is a Halloween theme of boo baskets. I will link that video down below, but I can't necessarily vouch for this creator because she did make videos criticizing traditional wives and things that I am for. Regardless, you all know that I'm a person that we can agree to disagree. We can still have a open environment here, have meaningful and positive discussions to better ourselves as women. That really is the message behind this series. Let's talk about what is popular out there and the ways that it is right and the ways that it is wrong and the ways that it impacts us as feminine women. Another note, back to what I said at the beginning of the video, the likes, the subscribes, the comments, they really do mean a lot to me and they make a difference. And if you want to take it one step further, I have recently started members only videos. If you want to support the channel or you're interested in more of my type of content, I'm going to leave the link in the description box, and I hope to see you there. So anyway, I've been talking a lot about feminine and masculine relationships because they are the foundation and the premise behind being a traditional wife and mother. These are relationships dynamics that cause for you to thrive in your femininity, and they do come with the caveat of what we were talking about in terms of healthy masculinity. A lot of times people see traditional relationships, they think of it in terms of a master-slave, but when people talk about things like submission, it does not mean subservient. I have many different videos going into the crux of what that actually means, so I recommend that you check out my femininity as well as traditional woman playlists. But I do believe that many of us women do long for an atmosphere that causes for our femininity to thrive because we do live in a hyper-masculine society. We live in one that extracts labor, that causes for you to step into a more masculine role to prove yourself as worthy, and so many of us do want to have an atmosphere where we can relax. This is natural and normal, especially because we are women who carry children, and for those of you who have been pregnant and even those of you who have never been pregnant, you all know that that requires a lot of rest, and so it is perfectly natural that you do not want to focus solely on your job when you are building human life. So all that being said, we know that it is the backbone of what we do need as women in order to thrive, to feel relaxed, and to perpetuate the next generation. However, society has brainwashed us to think that if we enter into a healthy masculine-feminine relationship, that we will become subservient, that we will become abused, and it takes the minute cases in which women have been exploited to warn all women to basically push them into what I call reverse oppression and force them into a lifestyle that is not what they truly desire. We constantly see women in media talking about how they are separated from their babies, for example, how they are burnt out, the rise in substance abuse from, grinding in a job. I've mentioned this stuff countless times on my channel, but this is really an epidemic of burnt out overwired and overtired women. And when we have people in the traditional space that talk about femininity and masculinity, healthy relationships where both people thrive and respect each other, this is often dismissed of what culture has drilled into our minds of those minute cases where women are exploited, instead of looking at our message and readjusting the culture to frown upon and to highlight the negative cases and to hold those people accountable, but in uplifting what is natural in terms of an environment where women can relax. All those of us who promote more traditional relationships are pushed aside, and even, you know, your regular social media consuming person doesn't take us seriously, and that's why even the largest content creators in this space, you know, don't really go past like 300,000 subscribers max. However, I had to lay the foundation to paint a picture of in comes the content that I, for better lack of terms, like to call sugar daddy, sugar baby content, like low-key sugar baby content. If he wanted to, he would. Luxury, you know, to the nines, like solely focusing on the size of the ring, the things that the man is buying for the woman. Along comes this type of content that has the undertone of an atmosphere where women can finally be relaxed and taken care of, which your average everyday social media user might see as liberating for women, without realizing that it is actually not the purest version of liberation in terms of this relationship, but is actually a perverted and corrupted like taking of capitalism, but just commodifying it into a feminine masculine theme. Now, I do want to make a disclaimer that I am all for, if luxury is your thing, if you have the financial means to take lavish trips, or, you know, to provide that kind of lifestyle for your children, or for you to have that lifestyle in a relationship. I love nice things. I indulge in nice things myself, and I am not against monetary success. But where I do get concerned is when the focus is just on this as the pillar of what women are shown and like what to strive to be in terms of relaxing in your femininity and finding a man that takes care of you, rather than a byproduct of your feminine and masculine thriving together and inspiring success in your man. And I'm not trying to be like a man sympathizer here necessarily, but one of the main points that I want to bring up is that it dehumanizes men. Men are people. I have a son, so this really affects me as well. I have a husband that I love dearly. So when we see this content of like, if he wanted to, he would, and it's this luxury lifestyle, this really does alienate a whole category of men who still provide and who still want to provide for a family and who will do everything in their power to provide that safe space for you as a woman. But not everybody is going to be able to be a multi-millionaire. You know, society has affected men too, with all the feminism messaging that we have experienced over the past several decades. Many men are just expecting their partner to go 50-50. And that isn't necessarily bad if you both choose to do that. But what I'm talking about is that we have a lot of men who degrade the role of motherhood, being a wife, the mental burden of that, simply because they've also been told in school by their peers, by their mothers who went through the sexual revolution, that being a mother is secondary, that being a woman is secondary, that the way that you want to have success, whether you're a man or a woman, is to be a CEO. We have told men that women are exactly the same, and this hurts women because it doesn't provide leeway for them to understand that there are hormonal changes that you go through every month, that there are things that are going to be hardwired into your brain in terms of motherhood, not wanting to separate separate from your child, not understanding that perhaps you don't want to go back to work full-time after you have a child, which is a normal biological reaction, that you can't focus on, your husband all the time 100% when you're in those early postpartum stages, and that you need to be given some grace in terms of everything that you're juggling on your plate, because men have been told that they are exactly the same as women, just like you have been told growing up that you are exactly the same as a man. This means that masculine men who understand that, who want to again give you an environment for your femininity, for your motherhood, for your wifehood to thrive, are rare, and we don't appreciate them because we have this messaging of the luxury lifestyle. We have this messaging of the luxury lifestyle of the provider man looking a certain way. And I've also said this on my channel before, but again, men are people and they have different interests. Perhaps your husband's interest in the career that he wants isn't something that's ever going to yield high monetary value, but he's willing to make the sacrifices of moving, purchasing things less himself, making smart financial moves that he can in certain ways in order to allow you to work less, or to have things that make you comfortable, or to spoil you in whatever small ways that we can. But because of this content online, when a man does a small action, like I even saw a comment of somebody saying that they used to paint pictures or draw pictures or write letters for their woman, but because they didn't have the financial means at the time to buy the woman expensive things, this effort was just brushed off. And so this type of content, like I've mentioned several minutes ago, I believe has truly stolen elements of what we're talking about in the traditional space and has made it more of an oppressive type of messaging. Many women don't realize is that masculine men who do want to provide for you, who value your femininity, who want to give you that space to thrive as a feminine woman, to be relaxed, to have a healthy sensual relationship together, his ability to provide is not dependent on how much he provides. A masculine man will make sure no matter what that you are fed first, that you are clothed first, that you are housed first. And so that means that when he does succeed, he's going to make sure that you are the first to receive the benefits of that. When my husband did well in his businesses, he upgraded my ring first. But also there's a level of understanding in terms of that ride or die type of thing that many men are looking for. You're going to lack depth in your relationship if you don't understand that life has ebbs and flows. And it also has me worried about the health of society and the future of children, because we do know that children need stable homes to thrive in. When we tell women that what they need to look for in a husband in terms of a masculine provider man is if he is already established to a high wealth level, instead of looking for the characteristics such as stoicism, resiliency, responsibility, his ability to care for other people in society, in his job, in his family already, and to solely look at materialism, we are setting them up for one, attracting narcissistic people, and two, not having the resiliency and the foundation for the ebbs and flows that come in life. The ups and downs, the successes and the failures that will happen to pretty much everybody, that oftentimes make or break a marriage. The self-focus of what can I get for myself monetarily out of a relationship is also very superficial and doesn't get you to the point of feeling safe and secure in your femininity. It's kind of like this undertone of superficial exchange where it's constantly performative and you can't even get to that deeper root of what masculinity and femininity truly is. So again, I'm not telling you that a masculine man won't provide for you, because he will. And that is a big part of the masculine man's journey in life, is to provide for a family, to protect a family, to emotionally be stoic for a family. But again, worldly success is just a byproduct of masculinity in certain conditions. It is not the undertone of what makes a man masculine. And I get it, we are in a quick fix society, so of course this type of content is going to blow up. And I can't tell you that I'm not bitter about it. You know, I would love for people to be like, yeah, Cynthia, like your content, let's hit 1 million views where you're talking about the inner work of being a feminine woman. But I live in reality and I know that's not going to happen. Even I just mentioned, or if this didn't get cut out in the video, but I mentioned my upgraded ring that happened a couple years ago. When I posted that video, it got like hundreds of thousands of views on TikTok. But if I were to talk about like the sappy emotional aspects of like my husband starting from nothing, that definitely wouldn't get the same response. But the fact of the matter is that that's where it starts with anybody. And I'm not telling you to martyr yourself, because I'm going to have comments on this video being like, Cynthia, you're telling me to go for a deadbeat and like I can't. No, I am not telling you not to go for a man that won't provide for you, that won't do the work to put food on the table. You not to be a gold digger. I'm telling you not to commodify your relationship in terms of masculinity and femininity, because one day you might be postpartum, you might be in the trenches, you might be 30 pounds heavier, and if your relationship is based off of monetary rather than looking at those core values, who's to say that this isn't a relationship based again on what I mentioned in narcissism, where you are going to have to be constantly acting, not able to relax in your femininity, not being given grace and seen as the feminine woman that you truly are in all facets of what you are, and not just appearance wise. So let me know what you think down below. Have you noticed this trend on social media? Does it bother you in the same way as it bothers me? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear it. And don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoy this series. Join the memberships if you want more of this type of content, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.